first of a 3-game homestand. Knicks looking to get their offense back on track. And they did for at least the first half. Kemba set a good tone. Knicks were moving the ball. They were moving themselves. Rest of the starting five took a little bit of time to get it together. But, overall, you like the energy on both ends of the floor. Now, third quarter, thought it was a third quarter due, man. Pacers came out with a 10-0 run. We go into the fourth quarter down 5. But the second unit, once again, would come up big in the clutch. Led by IQ, Derrick Rose, my guy Alec Burks, Taj Gibson. Big shots. Big time defense by this Knick bench. And Broadway Barrett hit a couple clutch buckets in the end. 92-84. Knicks come up with a come-from-behind victory at home over the Pacers. This is Knicks Postgame Live, presented by Manscaped, CP the Franchise, Ashley Moore, CK2K, Alex Trataros. Hey, nothing like a Knick victory, man. It was tough. We thought the third quarter doom was going to hurt us again, but Alex started us off, man. Well, give me some thoughts on this game.
Third quarter of doom is definitely the place to start, I feel like, because you said it in the beginning, CP, where you saw some good ball movement. You saw the sets. Stephen Bondi of the Daily News wrote how Tom Thibodeau said he wanted to get this team a little bit more in rhythm and decided to drop some plays, some sets that they could use early on. You saw that was working in the first half, even though there were some moments where it was a mix of like good defense and just some tough shot selection from both teams. But once the third quarter came around, they looked sluggish again, and you just knew we had to rely on the second unit to come back in and take this game over, which they did. And then leading into the fourth quarter, I think once we heard that Mitch, it was around that time where we heard Mitch was out. And what I really liked about this is that Tibbs decided to try the small ball unit for a little bit. Didn't really work too well. Instead, he goes with Taj, brings in RJ as well. And I liked how they ended with Derrick Rose, Taj, Julius, RJ, all those guys, because I think that was the mix that we needed. It was bringing your two guys in who you wanted to close with, who can give you some good defense, and who you want to close games at the end, who want to be the guys. But at the same time, you kept in some of the key bench components too, guys who are going to play their butts off and just keep you in this game, especially Emmanuel Quickly, who was shooting really well tonight. Derrick Rose, who was on a tear. Those are the guys that you needed to close this game, and I think it was just a good balance towards the end. So kudos to Tibbs for coming out with that lineup.
Ash, in previous shows, you always talked about Tibbs, mixing it up with the rotations, getting the rotations right, mixing and matching. And to Alex's point, he started with Kemba. Kemba set a good tone for us. But in the fourth quarter, you saw a nice combination of lineups. I mean, you saw one lineup with Alec Burks, RJ, IQ, Randall. A combination of Obi Taj. Then he takes out Burks. He goes D Rose, RJ, IQ, Randall, Taj. So, he gave us a little bit of the bench that gave us a spark, and then finished with our two pillars in Randall and RJ. What'd you think about this win tonight?
Yeah, I mean, look, the bench gave us more than just a little bit of a spark. 44 points from them tonight versus 13 from the Pacers. That is a huge difference maker. I mean, this is something that we have been alluding to is, take advantage of the bench. We have a sensational bench. They play well together. The chemistry is there. The camaraderie is there. The floor just looks better when they're out there. And Tibbs, took notice of that tonight, and he made the proper adjustments. This is really a situation where I can say that Tibbs really did not get out coached, that he saw what was happening on the floor in real time, and he adjusted, as need be. I mean, if you look, fast break points, 10 points in the paint, 42. It's just, there was so many different things clicking. And I think that's because he wasn't stubborn with trying to make the same rotations work. The spacing looked better. The chemistry looked better. The ball movement looked better, especially down the stretch. I mean, it was flowing and it was clicking. Emmanuel Quickly could not be stopped. He is so damn special. RJ Barrett had some clutch moments. It's about seeing what's happening on the floor in real time and making the adjustments. Every coach goes into a game with a plan. That's what makes you a good coach. That's what makes you a coach in general, right? But the difference between a good coach and a great coach is someone who can say, okay, this was my plan, scrapping it, it's not going to work. And that's what what Tibbs did tonight. And that's what he needs to do moving forward. Is we know you have a love affair with certain guys. We know how much you respect the vets and how much you want to see them out on the floor, but you got to also see the game in real time. And what works is what works, and what doesn't is what doesn't. And that varies from game to game.
CK, Ash brought up IQ, and coming into this game, I posted a stat. There was a stat going around Twitter that stated the top isolation scores, the most efficient isolation scores in the league. I think a minimum 100 possessions or something like that, and IQ was number 1. And you saw him over the last few games, whether you look at it from the numbers perspective or just from the eye test, you saw him getting his groove back. We're starting to hit some big shots. Some clutch shots, some shots that really, can change the game for you. You saw his energy on both ends of the floor, and I thought that's what IQ brought tonight. He brought energy, and he was shooting 46% from 3 over the last 5 games tonight, 4 of 4 from downtown. But it wasn't just that. He came up with 3 big rebounds in the fourth quarter, 2 on the offensive glass. 4 rebounds on a whole. You saw the alley-oop from Rose to Obi that rocked the garden. It was quickly that set that back screen to free Obi up, caused a little confusion between Sabonis and I forgot the wing defender or the guard defender. But give credit, man. IQ was huge for us in the clutch tonight.
Yeah, man, huge. Another product of somebody that tunes into Knicks Fan TV post game, because when we were all ready to sub him out and have the conversation about him missing games, he tuned it in, like you said, 2-3 games ago, and he hasn't looked back since. And tonight was definitely the best showing of the season, and it will not be his best of the year, because he's going to up from tonight's game, which is going to seem impossible because he was 100% from the 3-point line when it felt like nobody on his team could make a damn 3-point shot.
He hit the first 3 for us.
He stayed 100%, 4 for 4 from the field. You know what I mean? And key buckets. And I'm glad you brought up the rebounds, because there was a possession where he had tried to get the ball off. They missed it. He was the first one there amongst the trees of the Indiana Pacers, and he was able to reset the offense all over again. His energy was contagious. And to Ashley's point, I've been right there with you, been ranting over on my channel that I just wanted Tom Thibodeau to just understand that we can use the depth. It doesn't have to be this platoon of 5 and this platoon of 5. Use what we have, intermingle some of the players from the bench along with the starters, and he did that tonight, and it worked out perfectly. Derrick Rose got to stay down there. Emmanuel quickly stayed down there. Your boy Burks stayed in because he was playing some gritty defense tonight.
Burks' defense
Burks was
at
on.
the point of attack.
Facts, yeah. So that was just my big key. I loved how Tom Thibodeau sucked it up, and he made some adjustments. I don't know, you can make the argument that it had to do because Mitch Robinson wasn't in, whatever the case may have been. He did what we've been asking for him to do, make those adjustments and trust the guys that you have, trust the depth that we have. And it was just really great to see. And like you mentioned, it all starts with Emmanuel quickly, and he's turning it around beautifully, very beautifully. So I'm liking it.
It's also important, basketball is a game of runs, right? And the best way to kind of throw off any defense is to constantly change your adjustments and kind of throw them off their game. And what you can see in the difference between this game and previous games is, yes, there were instances where the Pacers went cold and that allowed the Knicks to go on runs, right? But it also, when you're constantly adjusting and you're constantly being creative with your rotations and your lineups, it doesn't give your opponent time to adjust to a certain style of play. Because once they've kind of figured out the 5 guys that are on the court, you change them. So when you have the depth, that is what helps you to go ahead and be in that creative, right? So like last season, when we didn't have the depth, you can see that teams, especially teams that you play repeatedly, they kind of already know what you're going to do, right? You can go ahead and manipulate the playbook as much as you want. But when you have the same group of guys that you're really relying on for most of that game, it's very easy to figure them out. But when you have the depth and you can constantly be creative with the rotations and the lineups and the schemes and the playbook, it makes it very, very hard for a team to adjust to you. And we saw that down the stretch. We saw that in the fourth quarter specifically. I wasn't crazy about the way Tibbs started the third, but in that fourth, you could really see the Pacers were kind of thrown off their game a little bit. And in part, it's what helped us, or rather what hurt them in going cold. And that's what you that's what you have to do as a coach, is throw another defense, another team off their game as many times as you can throughout a game.
Well, I think one of the things that slowed us down in the third was we kind of went away from what helped us in the beginning, because in the beginning of the game, you saw a concerted effort to really get the ball moving, really get us into a rhythm. They picked up the pace. They played at a faster pace. You saw the two-man game between Randall and Fournier really trying to get going. They were passing the ball, making more than one pass around the perimeter before somebody went for a shot. And then in the third quarter, it's like things slowed down. They were settling for jumpers, one pass shots, Randall turning the ball over. I threw a tweet out there, Al. I said, it's like, I don't think Tibbs ever gets tired of guaranteeing the other team gets the ball when Julius Randle is taking the ball up. You're guaranteeing them a shot to get another chance. I still don't get it, bro. He's running, waving, zooming past Kemba, zooming past Rose into a turnover. I just don't understand it. But either way, give credit to those guys for, showing the toughness and the mettle to come back and win that game.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the defense also was impeccable. Let's not ignore that. Offensively, it was clicking, better ball movement, especially in that fourth quarter. I want to see us resort back to that ball movement. I think there's a lot of times that our offense is stagnant, especially in games that we've lost or games that we barely won. You can see that guys aren't moving their feet. They kind of stand around and observe somebody who has the ball in their hand. It reminds me a lot of, the teams that LeBron James has been on. If LeBron has the ball in his hand, obviously it's different now because he's not playing at this moment, but it reminds me a lot of that. Like the offense revolves around LeBron, and when he has the ball in his hand, nobody else is moving. Nobody else is trying to get open. Nobody else, is spacing the floor. We saw that tonight where there was more spacing, there was more ball movement. I want to go ahead and get back to that, but defense can't be ignored either. It was, again, another reason
defense
that
was on point.
The Pacers got cold. I mean, look at Sabonis. He was getting blocked down there. It was block city, especially in that fourth quarter. That is what the Knicks are known for, especially from last season. That's what they need to continue to do.
84 points, Alex. As Ashley said, I thought the defense was on point. The three-point defense in particular was great. Wasn't so great on Brogdon, which, as good as Kemba was, they were definitely hunting him in that third quarter. And then my guy Burks came to the rescue to slow him down. You know what I'm saying? Where's my guy JD at? I know he's watching out there. I know you saw my guy Burks.
When I saw
I know
Burks
you saw my guy
shots,
Burks.
I was like, I know CP somewhere is happy as hell right now.
Yeah, it was a slow go. But Mr. Utility, Mr. Fourth Quarter, he's got to play defense on Brogdon. He's got to hit shots. He's got to play point guard in a pinch, Ashley. This is what my guy Burks brings to the table. Now, the big man health, Alex. Again, big question mark, bro. We come in, Nerlens Noel once again gone. We lose Block Ness, who had I thought Mitch brought a lot of good energy in the first half. I thought he was part of that defensive effort. We lose him to the ankle. Give credit, my guy Taj Gibson, veteran presence, played excellent defense on Sabonis all night, and closed the door for us, man. Every part of a contributor on that bench as the other guys.
For sure. And this is something that, we keep talking about with Mitch. He only had 16 minutes tonight, but his health is just always in question. If we're going to be that defensive team, right, he has to be the anchor because of his switchability on guys who are on the perimeter, right? That's the one thing we keep harping on for Mitch, is that his ability to guard the pick and roll so well because he's so mobile is what makes him so unique, and his athleticism too. I wonder if all these injuries right now, though, are happening because of his weight gain, the muscle mass, right? Because he's not used to it. I forget who reported, but it wasn't until this offseason that he really started lifting weights. And when you start lifting weights, your body has to get used to that added weight on. So I think that's added. I think that's part of it to his injury prone. I know he's naturally he's been hurt the last season, the season before that. So it's concerning. This is where you're where's the insurance, right? Because then you have Noel, who's also out. This is where Tom Thibodeau relies on rim protection for this team. And that's just a big concern, man, because we're going to go down the stretch. And once we get to the playoffs, once again, it's coming down to rim protection. Our interior defense, as weak as it is with these guys too, it hasn't been great. They're still trying to work things out. Yeah. But now that we lose Mitch, we don't know when Noel's coming back. Both these guys could be out for extended periods of time. A big man and a foot injury, you don't want to mess around with that. So you don't want to mess around. That's a big concern.
I mean, piggybacking off of that, CP and I had this conversation last season, and some people didn't like what I had to say. But, we can't ignore the fact that pre-weight gain, Mitch has always been injury prone. So yes, you can go ahead and say that this weight is definitely not helping that, but it's definitely not the catalyst for it. This is just the player that he is. There are some players in the league. We spoke about this with Frank, last season as well. There are just some players in the league whose ability to perform and ability to contribute to a team is undermined by the fact that they are never consistently healthy. And in the NBA, we say this all the time, your best asset is your availability. If Mitch's availability is going to constantly come into question and it's constantly going to prevent him from being what we need, and that's a big man who's going to go ahead and give us that rim protection, and we don't have a backup plan in Noel. And yes, we got Taj, but let's call it what it is. Taj is not a spring chicken. You need somebody that you can consistently rely on. So it poses the question is, what do you do with Mitch? Do you trade him and get someone that you can go ahead and rely on consistently? Do you just chalk it up to weight gain? There's a lot of unknowns with that situation, and this has kind of been the writing on the wall since last season.
And let's not forget what year it is. It's contract year. We can talk about maybe next year. We could have said that back in the past. We're on contract year now, and he's off to one of those same starts that we've seen in years in the past before weight gain, like you mentioned, Ash. And maybe you're right, Alex. Maybe that might be the case, but I don't know. It is getting a little concerning. I don't want to jump out the window with that yet. We're still yet to be completely 100% as a team yet, so I'm not going to try to do anything. But it's definitely a conversation that needs to be had, because if we're trying to talk about throwing any kind of contract at him, I know people are comparing people that were in that same draft class or people that are around his skill level that are getting different, this contract and that contract, Robert Williams and these other guys. Look, man, the kid needs to be on the court before we could even have that talk. Yeah. But this is the year. There's no more years after this, and we got to figure that out if we're going to move forward, or like Ashley said, we might have to move on from him. But that's a conversation for another day.
Well, let's get to the phones in a little bit. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for your squad. Knicks with a 92-84 come from behind win over the Pacers. Much needed win, man. Knicks moved to 8 and 5, 8 and 5 8 and 6 on the campaign. So much needed win, first of a 3-game homestand, and winnable games. We got the Magic coming in on Wednesday. We have the Rockets coming in on Saturday. So definitely winnable games before we get into a pretty hectic schedule next week. We talked about IQ and just the fact that, this kid has just been finding ways to come up big in the clutch. He tied the game at 74 for us. He put us up 1 with a corner 3. Good pass by Julius Randle. Give credit to Julius. That was with about 5 minutes to go. Next possession, he gets a big offensive rebound. So I thought Emmanuel quickly was great. Once again, Derrick Rose, solid. I'm glad that Tibbs closed with him, because Rose was every bit of what we needed. Even though Kemba set a nice tone, set the table for us, didn't have it going in the third. Brogdon was eating him up on the defensive side. Rose finds RJ leaking out in a nice transition pass, then finishes over Sabonis for a nice layup to close it out in the clutch. So great job by Rose. RJ did not have his shot going in the first half. I thought he got a lot of shots in rhythm. I thought a lot of his shots were there. They just weren't falling. Then I'm starting to get the messages. I'm starting to get the tweets. RJ this, RJ that. But give credit to RJ, man. 3 big 3-pointers in that second half, 2 of which came in the fourth quarter. He just never quit. He never quit. Ends up going 4 for 13 on the field, Ash. But, shout out to Broadway, man. 12 points, 6 boards, and the 3 big 3-point shots to get it back going in rhythm in the second half. And they were all big shots for us.
Yeah, and quickly, because I see some people in the chat kind of disagreeing with me, CK, and Alex's take on Mitch, saying, oh, well, he was healthy his first 2 seasons. Let's call it what it is. The NBA is a very what have you done for me lately league. It just is what it is. Like it or not, sorry, that's just the business of basketball. Right. So him being healthy in his first 2 seasons does nothing for me, because if you look at the last few seasons, if you look at last season, let's just go last season since we're speaking in present tense, he wasn't available to us when we needed him. It just wasn't the case. Now we're looking at another situation where we don't know what the situation is. He has the extra weight on him, so it may not be his first and last injury this season. I understand that he wasn't the case in his first 2 seasons, but you guys got to step into the future. It's a very, like I said, what have you done for me lately league? And when you get into this this narrative of, well, he wasn't, injury prone his first 2 seasons. So players change, their bodies change, their durability changes, their availability changes. You got to go ahead and go season to season and stop looking at who he was in 2018. It's almost 2022. It's a new team, a new system. The East is different. The teams are more competitive. We went to the playoffs last season. This is a different conversation. Stop. We can't bring up 2018, 2019 anymore. That's over and done with. You got to step in and look at who he is as a player today.
All right, let's get to the phone suits. Everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for your squad. We got 1.4 thousand people in here. Let's get up to 1,000 likes, man. Knicks Postgame Live presented by Manscaped, CP Ashley Moss, Alex Rattaro, CK2K in the building. Kicking us off on the phones, we got Benji from Manhattan kicking us off. Benji, what's going on?
What's up, guys? What's up, Ashley? Long time since I called you guys, feels like. So I'm happy that we got the win tonight. Just a few observations for the game. First off, that was kind of like I'm not saying anything revolutionary here, but that was obviously sort of like a mid to late 90s Knicks Pacers feel game. I was waiting for Travis Best to come out there.
84 points, 92-84, man. Crazy.
Yeah, I was waiting for Derek McKee, Hayward Workman, and Travis Best to try out there. But I mean, obviously, I'm thrilled we pulled out the win. I'm a little bit concerned about RJ, even though he had some big shots in the second half and in the fourth quarter to seal the game. This is like 4 or 5 games now of him struggling with his shot. So I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but he's losing his confidence a little bit. Obviously, it ended well tonight, and then my guy Fournier really needs to pick up his play, man. The first 5-6 games of the season, he was really shooting the ball great. He was playing aggressively. He was confident, and he's sort of lost that now. He's not even really getting a lot of shots up. He looks a little tentative out there. I mean, I want to trust that he can get it back because he's been a pretty good scorer in the league for 6-7 years now in Orlando and in Boston. So we really need him because he's really the X factor, and he gives us that sort of extra dimension. As far as Mitch goes, I mean, honestly, I'm a big Mitch fan, obviously. I'm a proud buyer of and owner of the KnicksFanTV Mitch t-shirt, Mitchell Robinson t-shirt.
Yep, that's a fact.
However, got to support the squad. But I mean, honestly, if you were to put Jericho Sims out there for the same amount of time, I feel like he would do virtually the same production-wise as Mitch. I mean, maybe Mitch is a little bit more athletic. But Jericho, I mean, I feel like he would kind of give you much of the same. So in that respect, I think he's kind of becoming a little bit expendable, especially because, we have so many centers on the roster now. And if Taj can do what he did tonight, I mean, I hope they're really moving along with the statue building in front of MSG for Taj because he deserves it, man. He deserves it. And then my last point is, amazing defense by our guy Alex Burks tonight on Brogdon.
Yeah,
that was major effort, and we needed it because the Knicks were a little bit lifeless at that point. I think we were down like 12 or even maybe like 9, but the game was kind of slipping away, and Burks just put it in that extra gear. He dug in,
stepped up.
He got into Brogdon, shut it down, and gave us that energy. Good night, y'all. Big win on to Wednesday.
Appreciate the call, man. Appreciate the call. Let me shout out some of the super chats that have come in so far. Got to salute the people. Shout out my guy Emil Beaumontsor checking in from Australia. He says, sends an Australian super chat, says, I love Taj Gibson's energy. Wonder how Tibbs will manage the center minutes as Taj provides things that both Mitch and Noel don't. And then Benji just mentioned Sims. I mean, I don't see Sims getting in just yet, man. Well, if Mitch is not available, then we have no choice. Sims is by default the backup center because, both Nerlens and Mitch are going to be out. So I think, you have it by default. I think Sims will get in, but make no mistake, Taj is going to be there and logging a healthy amount of minutes, CK. Taj is in there, bro.
But the thing is, like you were saying, I'm ready for the damn statue. I hope when I go out there and visit, I see the bottom part of the statue already being built. You know, I need it to happen because Taj doesn't play like his age, and I'm loving every second of it. But how long is that going to be? You know, in January, how the knee's going to be, how the leg's going to be. Those are the kind of worries I have, and for that reason, I think that we will have to run some sims in certain situations. But I know Alex spoke on it a little bit earlier. It was nice to see Tibbs try it out, the Obi and Randall combination. I think when he did, it was not the right time because Turner had just checked in. So I don't know if the timing was right because there was other situations where I feel like it worked out. But regardless, it seems like Tibbs, outside of the other rotations that we've talked about, you know, keeping Quickly out there, Rose playing with some of the starters and that kind of stuff. Maybe as time goes on and we don't know if we don't have Mitch on Wednesday or whatever the case may be, maybe that is something that comes up in the future. But yeah, I'm with you. I'm a big fan of Sims. I think Sims is going to be a fun one for us long term, but I don't think he's there yet. I think in the sample sizes we've seen of him, I don't think he's quite there just yet, but I mean, he's going to be forced to play, and let's see what he does in that time.
And I agree with you, CK, on like Sims not being ready. I think he's still a little bit too raw. You see, there's miscues when it comes to defensive reads, who he's supposed to be covering. Sometimes he's not fully blocking out when he's trying to get a rebound. The other thing, too, is that he's on a two-way contract. So he's only permitted to play 50 games. So once he plays over 50 games, that's it. You have to sign him to then a full-time contract, and then takes up a roster spot, so you'd have to get rid of somebody. Yeah. So keep that in mind, that they're trying to wean him into certain situations to get him that experience, but they want to try to make sure that he can stay on that two-way contract for probably if not the entire season, if not most of the season.
True indeed, man. Shout out to Rhyme Animal, Chuck D. Everybody throw a hashtag PE in the chat. Chuck sends a super chat, says we're breaking out of the Knicks sand, which is tough. It's happening. We have a system most teams don't, and we require two-way players. Hustle, defense, energy. The league boils down to conditioning and coaching adjustments after 20 games in. Shout out to Rhyme Animal, Chuck D. 03 Stang GT. Mustang guy sends a $20 super chat, says IQ brought the smoke tonight. Yeah, that's a fact, man. So shout out to him. Shout out to Cool Vids, man. $20 super chat. David Code Fonseca, he says, starting Rose, Quick, RJ Randall, Mitch. By the way, you guys are the best sports podcast, top notch, and truly for the fans. Appreciate it. So shout out David Fonseca. Brian Almonte, thanks for the super chat. He says, Knicks with defense and a W. We hear, is Fournier and Kemba slander justified today? What do you think? I don't think so, man. Definitely not Kemba.
Right.
No, not at all.
Definitely not Kemba. I thought Kemba was, again, he set the tone for us tonight out.
Yeah. He did. And like he got, honestly, if this is what we can get from Kemba, 20 minutes and what do you have tonight? 16 points?
Yeah.
If you can get that or 20 points within 20 minutes and give the remaining minutes to D Rose, you essentially got your point guard position covered for the entire game.
I'm good with it.
You had a little bit of Alec Burks covering for like 2-3 minutes, but between both of them, it was kind of split evenly. And I like having Derrick Rose close. That's what everyone's been wanting, right? Derrick Rose to close.
Amen.
So as long as Kemba can come in, give you some points, his defense isn't there. If he can, generate some offense and just distribute the ball and just be a creator for everybody else within those 20 minutes, we're golden.
Yeah. Yep. I think right now we're just waiting on everybody else's game to catch up. We've seen 2 games in a row now where Kemba's really been a fire starter for us. Every time he's getting dribble penetration, he's getting into the paint, good things happen. Good things are happening. And so he needs to keep that same energy. He needs to keep that up. And I think the rest of the guys, that their shots will follow, man. I think their shots will follow. I thought we had a ton of good looks in the first half in particular, and the shots just weren't falling, man. So I think if we can keep that same energy on the offensive side of things, the offense is going to come together. I agree with Benji's comments on Fournier. You want to see him, come alive and get back into some rhythm, but we just got to give these guys a chance to gel. But give credit to Tibbs. He's showing over these games now. He's not afraid to close without him. And I think he should do that because these guys, whether it's Burks, Rose, IQ, the combination thereof, they have the chemistry right now, carried over from last year. It's clear as day. So you might as well go to those guys to close when you have that depth. Embrace the depth. All right, back to the phones we go. Let's see who else we got in here. Let's go to, I heard from Benji. Let me get my guy Book from Queens in here. I didn't get Book in the last time. Book, what's going on?
Hey, what's up to the panel? Great to hear from you guys. Good to get up a W. You guys bring up some interesting points, and I wanted to just cover that and some things I've seen. So, number one, on Jericho Sims, I think he's in a tough position right now because our second unit is basically keeping us in games, and we can't disrupt that. And so one of the things I was talking to my buddy about was Chicago and losing Vooch. As bad as Vooch can be on defense, the thing that they miss is a big who knows how to play, who knows how to play basketball. He knows how to set screens. And the thing that we were praising Mitch for in this year is how his IQ has raised. The thing I think we underestimate as just watching the game is that intangible thing of having somebody on the floor who's looking around, not knowing what to do and where to be, and how that throws you off.
Yeah.
And so for that reason, we need our starters to play better so that Jericho could play for Taj. Right now, statue Taj, a.k.a., the greatly exaggerated demise of Taj Gibson, his IQ is just so high. His screens are perfect. He's going over the rolls perfect. The way he's guarding the screen and roll is perfect. Taj is just literally the definition of a vet, and he's the glue that's holding us together without having to fill up the stat sheet. You replace that with a rookie who doesn't have
Tibbs ain't got time for
100
that,
NBA
man.
hours under his belt.
Yeah.
You just can't do it. And it'll cost us while we're fighting for our Eastern Conference life right now.
Yeah.
As
Tibbs don't
everything's
got time
starting
for
to
that,
come
bro.
together. That having been
Smooth to
said,
say.
I think that what we really need is Fournier has to step up. You got to earn your money because RJ's 21. He's going to go through slumps. The one thing that was scaring me early on was not that Julius was missing shots, but that he was playing bad. I said earlier about Quick that Quick was missing shots, but he was playing well. And when those shots start going in, y'all going to be loving Quick again. And that's what's happened, right?
Yeah.
So with Julius, the ball was sticking. Tonight, I saw Julius just set screens, rebound the basketball, eagerly pass to teammates, and that's a wonderful sign going forward. So now the last thing we need is Fournier. He might have his Olympic legs, the season came in, shooting hot. Maybe the second win is going away, and they got the little jelly legs from the beginning of the season. We need him to step up, and I think everything else will work itself out. Will be
Okay.
fine.
All right, man. Appreciate the call, man. Book from Queens on the check-in. Let's go. Oh, King Deej is back. King Deej is back. It's been a while, man.
What's he gonna do? Curve me again?
Yeah,
Moving
we
on.
didn't. After that tension with Ash, we didn't know which way things were gonna go, man. It was.
Don't laugh at that, CK.
Yeah, it was a little.
Something else I
little
heard.
situation. It was a little situation, but I was wondering the other day. I was like, yo, we haven't heard from Deej in a minute, man. So Deej, welcome back, bro.
Well, that was a nice intro, CP. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
appreciate it.
Shout out to Big Ashley. How you doing? Happy Monday.
What's up?
That's all I got. That's all I got. I don't got nothing else. I'm not Angel. Shout out Angel. All right, the MVP of tonight was Tibbs, because Tibbs is finally letting go of the rope. And when I say the rope, I mean it's the shuffling of the rotation. He's always putting the starters with the starters. RJ had 2 points in the last game because unapologetically, my boy gets lost in the desert. They don't look for my boy. You got to switch it up. He did everything in the rotation, and hey, this is what a regular season is. He's learning his team now. His team strength is the depth. And speaking of depth, one thing we don't have is that center position, man. If y'all remember last year, I said, and I think the whole conversation was shout out my boy Jay from Florida. He wanted to bring RJ to the airport and trade RJ for whoever he could get. And I said, I would bring him to the Gatos Bridge and trade Mitch before I would do that. And I remember Ashley was in here laughing. She agreed with me. CP, you was laughing. You agree with me. I think CK, you was here. I'm not too sure. But the whole point of that is And maybe Ashley could attest to this because, I put her in the friend zone.
Stop mentioning my name, bro.
I'm still in love with her.
Ari said his name is King Curve. Go ahead, bro.
You can't love somebody that's never around. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be in love with somebody that's never around, and that's how I feel about Mitch. And that's just a sad truth. I'm not blaming him for getting hurt. Getting hurt is a part of the game. But when you get hurt repetitively and your name's not Joel Embiid or Joker or Rudy Gobert or Anthony Davis, I don't have the connection that everybody else has with Mitch. I got it for RJ. I don't got it for Mitch. So that's just how I feel about that.
All right.
Going forward, I just want Tibbs. You could tell that they was practicing over the weekend. They had the whole weekend off.
Yeah.
They was practicing defense. I don't know what the Kemba slander is. I mean, I'll take 17 from Kemba, and truthfully, if I don't know if anybody was paying attention, but when he didn't get the foul call and he got the technical in the third quarter, that was the changing of the momentum. Somebody had to step up and say enough is enough. And I'm sorry, but in a starting five, it's looking slowly like I know Randall is the supposed leader, but Kemba is the spark plug that makes that engine go. So I want them to keep focusing on that. Tibbs did his thing with the rotations, and I just want, it's easy wins. I know everybody's saying it's easy wins, but we did lose to Orlando at home, so I don't know why everybody feels safe about that. I don't feel safe about anything, and I've been saying all summer the East got better, man. So it's going to be tough. I just want to say that, but I'm out. Peace and love.
No doubt. King Curve in the chat, the new nickname. King Curve on the check-in. Ash, do you have any words?
No, I don't know him.
Okay. All right.
Whose man's is this? I don't know this man.
She says, "Stop saying my name, yo."
I'm kidding. Shout out to King D. That's
King
what's up.
Curve. Everybody drop a King Curve in the chat. Salute everybody in the chat once again. Hit that thumbs up button for your squad. Knicks Post Game Live presented by Manscaped. If you guys are new in the chat, we got 1,600 people in here. Number one, hit that like button. Hit that thumbs up button. If you guys are new in the chat, man, drop a hashtag new in the chat and we will shout you guys out. We're here recap the Knicks 92-84 come from behind win over the Pacers. If you guys want to call in too, phone lines are open. We got a ton of people on the phone line. 657-383-1509 is the number to call, or you can hit us up on the KnicksFanTV Discord. I want to shout out Juju92. Juju, how you feeling, man? What's going on? Welcome, Juju92. Pudge Nights, you're in here every episode, but salute to you. Jonathan Baptiste, what's going on? All right. CK, who you want to shout out in here, man?
Oh, damn. I'm seeing the hashtag curves coming up. I ain't going to do that. But yeah. I saw a shout to the hashtag old. So we see you. Yeah. I got MP in here saying coming in multiple times. Terrell Turner, we know you. I don't know if you knew, though, bro, but welcome, Terrell Turner. No, I feel like I've seen your name a few times. But we got Clive Higgins, new from Connecticut. Appreciate you. What's good? Sometimes new Kareem Grant. You ain't new, bro. You ain't new. We know your name, too. Bricks Nation, Nelson Best. Shout out to all the new crew. And shout out to all the, I feel like the mods are in here hot today. So shout out to the mods as always. Got to give love to the mods.
Ash, who you want to shout out in the chat?
Let's see. Oh, shout out to Rolando C. Love you too. That's so sweet. Shout out to all the hashtag King Curves. That's what's up. Shout out to Ari in the chat causing chaos as usual. Ain't nobody blushing, Ari. Hop off my jock. Shout out to all the hashtag news. I'll shout a few of them out. Shout out to Emo. Shout out to David. Shout out to Eddie. Shout out to Juju92. Hello. Shout out to Angel Goat Simp in the building. Simp. Yeah, so shout out to a few of you guys. Thanks for rocking with. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, please. Yeah. There's 1,600 of you in the chat, only 500 likes.
Absolutely. I want to shout out my guy CP's Manscaped Razor. Yes, we have our own account for one of these, man. So fellas, go out and go get that Lawnmower 4.0. Look, I even got it for you here in 4K, man. Look at that, huh? That little matte black finish. You know, you got the custom aerodynamic blade. Cut down on those Knicks, fellas. Very important, man. Go get that Lawnmower 4.0. It'll change your life. This is a good stocking stuffer for Christmas, no pun intended. Go to manscaped.com. Enter promo code KFTV for 20% off plus free shipping on all Manscaped products. Not just the Lawnmower 4.0, But they have the Performance Package 4.0 that comes with, you get your ball deodorant, your ball toner, you get your ear and nose trimmer, boxer briefs, comes with a travel bag. So they got everything for today's man. So make sure you guys go to manscaped.com, enter promo code KFTV for 20% off plus free shipping. Support our sponsors. All right, let's take a couple more. Let's check on the phones real quick. Who we got on the phones here? Shout out KnicksFanTV Edgar making his full-time debut. He's on the phones right now. Edgar getting it cracking. Let's go. JJ from Brooklyn. JJ, what's going on?
Yo, what's good? How's everyone doing, man?
How you feeling, bro?
Good, man. Good. Shout out to Edgar, man. We're gonna miss Dave, but Edgar seems like a great dude himself, man.
Yeah, Edgar's
Definitely,
on it. Yeah,
man.
he's on his game, man, for sure.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely. Yo, first, Alex, I gotta tip my cap to you, man, because I remember you guys had one of the shows in the off season. You guys were doing like lineups and whatnot, and you guys were doing one of the topics was a closing lineup for defense, and he had Quickly in there. And at first, I was like, yo, what is Alex talking about right now? Quickly is for
Facts,
defense,
he
but
did.
Let's
yo,
go.
he's right, man.
Yeah.
I gotta give you credit. For that, man.
Yeah.
He's been defending
Appreciate
like
it.
crazy this year, man.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
saw that coming. So shout out to you for that, man. That was good. That was definitely a nice call on that one, man. But yo, I gotta
Appreciate
say,
you, JJ.
Taj was the real MVP tonight, man. I know Sabonis ended up with good numbers, but I don't care, man. Taj was defending him like he was stuck to him, man. He was defending on the perimeter, and CP, your guy Burks, the play with I think there was about 9 minutes in the fourth. We're down 3, and he just put the clamps on Brogdon. I was jumping up and down. It got the bench hype.
Yeah.
It
MSG
changed
was
the
lit.
whole momentum of the game.
Whole momentum of the game.
The Garden was going nuts, and then Quickly comes right up. Next play after, hits the 3. That changed the whole momentum, man. That was just huge. Quickly's just playing great. He's got his jump shot back. He's defending like crazy. I'm a little worried about the centers right now, obviously with Noel and
Big
Mitch.
time.
The thing is, I don't get it. A lot of people are saying trade Mitch. I'm not saying that's crazy, but what value are you gonna get for a center that's gonna be a free agent, is injury prone, and still has not developed any sort of offensive game besides alley-oop dunks? Like, I'm not gonna trade him for a second-round pick. I'd rather just keep him and just pray he somehow stays healthy.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
And
the guy's
then,
got hurt like
you
8
get him on
times
the
in like
cheap.
10 games.
Maybe you get him on the cheap, and that's a cheap tradable contract down the road if you have to go that route. You know what I'm saying?
True. That's true. Yeah, that's pretty much it, man. You guys
Okay.
have a good one, all right?
My
Thanks for
guy
taking the call.
JJ never misses a show,
Always
man.
good call.
JJ from Brooklyn, appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean that's how I see the whole Mitch thing. I mean, look, at the end of the day, you got him as a second-round pick. He was a steal of the draft. Yes, you want to see his development, be further ahead. Yes, you want to see him be durable. But at this point in time, where the Knicks are from a salary cap perspective, it's not like, you're going to just go out there and sign something major with the money that you have left. So you might as well, you probably get a cheaper deal for him. Keep him. Keep developing him. And if a package comes, it could be a cheap contract to trade. I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I think that's the scenario. I think because of everything that's going on, everything you just mentioned, it might not be the same as it once was, where if we were to offer Mitchell Robinson, we might get a lot more. At this point, it's one of those things that if we get a phone call and the deal makes sense, then that's when you consider it. So, I agree with that completely. And I hope that's probably the best case scenario for us is, because of the unfortunate situation right now with injuries and whatnot, his contract, his extension, or whatever we end up giving him ends up being cheaper, and then it turns out in the long run he ends up magically becoming healthy. Like that'd be the dream, you know what I mean? But yeah, I think at this point, as far as us looking for deals, I don't know what we're going to get, but if there is a deal on the table and he's included, I'm saying that I feel like there should be it should be thought about, and it should be something we look at. But that's only if the right deal makes sense, or if the right offer is there.
CK, you mentioned like a cheaper deal and then him turning out great for the Knicks. That kind of reminds me of like Steph Curry, right? With his busted ankles.
The ankles, man.
You know, that he kept every season he kept getting injured, and then next thing you know, you're able to get him on a cheaper deal. He turns out that for him, he gets the right ankle braces to make sure that he can play an entire season. I don't know what the case would be for Mitch for him to get through an entire season, but if he can last through an entire season on a cheaper deal, that's just a it's just good luck for the Knicks in that case. But I could see, Mitch I could see the Knicks giving him a cheaper deal to make it more palpable for a team that wants to do a trade to say, oh, we can get Mitch with high value on a nice deal locked up for some time and a throw in for a trade package. And I could also see him being traded like this season if they don't have that faith that he can stay healthy. I think it's just kind of rough right now because we don't know the severity of this ankle. We don't know if he's going to be able to come back because Mitch, for as much as he gets injured or has these nicks or scares, he does come back and he tries to play through it. So
yeah,
let's see what the status is.
The thing that I keep getting to though, just to piggyback off that, I agree. But and I think to CP's point too, because I feel the same way. What do you think we're gonna get from if that is the route? Just because we know that he's been hurt damn near in all the games, whether he's played through them or not. What kind of deal are we getting if it's just for Mitch Robinson or somebody else is included? I think that's
not only that,
the question I'm looking at.
Not only that, but like, what kind of player are you getting? Yeah, you can go ahead and applaud the fact that he tries to come back, immediately or as quickly as possible from injury, and also that he tries to play through a lot of injuries. But also look at the product. Like, you have to look at it from that perspective as well. Yeah, it's an honorable thing to do. It makes you a good teammate, right? You want to be there for your squad. You want to put aside your own personal, pain and feelings and all that stuff to be there. But also, what kind of player do you get when you constantly have to do that? You never get a player that's 100%. You never get a player that can really contribute to a team night in and night out because he's never 100% when he gets there. So you got to look at that factor as well.
For sure. And I think with Mitch, when you think like what deals you can get him, the thing is that he's probably gonna be added into a trade package. He's not the sole piece himself that you're saying, all right, I want Mitch. Let's do a straight up trade for Mitch. Because I think if you just did a straight up trade for Mitch, as of right now, you're not getting a good return for what he can be. You'd have to package him in some sort of deal for a team that needs another player that you'd be willing to move. And hopefully, you're moving up when you make a trade, not moving laterally. So whether that's getting a stable center in return or getting a wing that we need, that's how you look. That's how I would look as a deal with like Mitch coming through. But the injuries are the concern. Like,
right.
We got to see if he can just stay healthy and bounce back.
Right.
He can't keep scaring us every single game.
No
I can't keep going through every single game and be like, is this man okay?
The way he plays is scary. Yeah. Like he plays so like aggressively and just recklessly that I watch him literally with one eye closed, like, oh my God, please don't. Like, every time he falls to the ground, every time he goes up, every time I'm just like, oh my God. Like,
facts. Salute to everybody in the chat. Once again, hit that thumbs up button for your squad. Let's get back to the phones. Edgar, do me a favor. I see that 614 number. I saw my guy Mo from Australia had dropped. I need my guy Mo Fax in here. Mo Ballin. We got to get him in here. I'm not sure if that's him on the 614 number, but just go ahead and screen that call. Let me see if that's him. In the meantime, let's go to BK Khalil. What's going on?
Hey, what's up? How's it going, y'all? First off, hit that like button.
Yes, sir.
Subscribe, ring the bell. KnicksFanTV, CP, CK, Alex. Haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. I want to talk a bit about, some of the development with these starters. It's been talked a lot about how great this bench is, and these starters, one of the worst in the league, and I think we're actually seeing some progress, especially on the defensive end. This game, Taj Gibson, everyone's talked about it, most reliable center of this Knicks front court. Absolutely. And I had a question about, so there's been a lot of talk about, lineup changes. I agree with you, CP. I think that he needs more time to gel. Tibbs isn't going to do it, but if not, what needs to be done to bring consistent basketball in this starting lineup? And so the question of a lineup change, who needs to be moved to the bench to get that lineup up to snuff if you go that route? Question I have.
Appreciate the call, man. I just don't see Tibbs making any knee-jerk reactions to the starting five right now, but I think what you'll see is what you've seen tonight and what you've seen in every game when the starting lineup it doesn't have it. He goes where he needs to go to the bench. We have a deep bench. Quickly has been on fire these last 6 games. He's back. Burks was doing his thing tonight. Rose, it was his night tonight. Taj, it was his night tonight. You know, we have that depth where we can mix and match pieces. And we haven't seen Evan Fournier play a fourth quarter maybe since the Boston game. You know what I'm saying? Like a meaningful fourth quarter.
Right.
We haven't seen it. So I don't think we're going to see anything major. You know, I don't think you're not going to put your highest paid free agent on the bench. That just wouldn't look right. You're not going to put Fournier on the bench for Burks. You're not going to put RJ on the bench. And I don't think you're going to start D Rose anytime soon anyway. So I don't see any changes to the starting 5. But how we close, you can go with whatever you want. Whoever's playing the best. And that's what Tibbs did tonight.
Yeah.
Because he had a stretch where he took Rose out for RJ and then brought Rose back in. He didn't even go to Kemba in the fourth quarter. So that's how Tibbs is going. And I don't blame him. You know?
Yep.
I don't blame him. I just don't see any immediate changes to the lineup.
I don't think he's going to make any immediate changes either. I think what he's going to do is what we saw tonight, as you talked about, CP, is that he's probably, if anything, he'd pull guys after like 5 minutes and get something in there to, you know, get a jolt back into the offense. He's not going to, because once you start messing with that 5, right? And if you look at that bench unit, we have the best bench unit. We're talking about, if you go to cleaning the glass, number 1 bench unit out there, number 1 unit out there, number 1 lineup out there. Of all the plus 27.6 differential. They're number 1 right now in the league. They're in the 100th percentile, the only team. You don't want to change that because they're just taking advantage of other teams' second units. I don't see Tibbs wanting to break that up. You want to keep taking advantage of the second units. That's how we keep coming back. But the only thing that you can do is doing what we saw in the fourth quarter tonight. All right, don't put Kemba back in. All right, don't put Fournier back in. Put RJ, Julius out there. Leave D Rose out there with Quickly, or even leave Alec Burks if Quickly isn't having it, or vice versa, whoever. That's how you do it. He's got to make those changes sooner, and especially in the third quarter. That third quarter of doom is because we keep getting the starting unit for like 8 minutes. We don't need him for 8 minutes because nothing's happening. He needs to go to that bench a lot sooner. As soon as we get down to like 8-7 minutes and we're not seeing anything, that's when that change needs to come in. That's really where that change needs to happen. Because for the most part, we saw it for 2 games in a row against the Hornets. And now that the starting unit is fine. We see the ball movement. We see everyone trying to get into rhythm. It's that third unit. And I'll go back to Stephen Bondi's article. Tibbs was allowing these guys to freelance. These guys are not freelancers. And Ashley talked about it too, with LeBron James being the guy who can handle everything for whatever team that he was on. These are not those guys. Most of these guys came from Duke, Kentucky. 2 coaches that we're talking about that run systems, that have guys in positions to succeed because they give them a position. Guys who can freelance, you know, like LeBron James. If you think about that Miami Heat team with like D Wade and all those guys, they don't need that type of structure. Our guys do.
It's definitely concerning though, because I do hear what you're saying about the bench. Like, I agree. I think the bench is phenomenal. I mean, 44 points tonight showcases that. I think it's about being creative and utilizing them. And like you're saying, you know, starting them sooner rather than later, and also being creative, not necessarily, you know, playing the same 5, maybe mixing and matching, like we saw tonight, but being a little bit of a pessimist. I am concerned with the fact of, you know, if our starting 5, if our starting lineup is very unpredictable and more times than none is leading to the side of, you know, mediocrity, if you will, or just, you know, like I said, very unpredictable play. It's concerning when you start talking about playoffs or when you start talking about the stretch of a season, right? Because your starting lineup is a big chunk of what makes you a successful team, right? And it is concerning if our starting lineup is not always the greatest, because you can think, yeah, you can go ahead and play the bench as much as possible, but you still need a solid starting lineup. Like, that's the foundation of your team. That's the foundation of the game. And that's the foundation of a playoff series. My concern is what's the alternative to a lineup that is, like I said, very unpredictable and sometimes not always the most reliable.
Go to your bench. Go to your bench early or close, like we saw tonight.
Yeah. But the other key is that first part. Go to your bench a lot earlier. That's all I'm saying.
Go early.
We go to them in the 9-10 minute mark and in the third quarter, and we already lost our 10-point, 8-point, 12-point lead, and it's down. We're either down by a point or barely up a point. So yeah, the key is we got to go to our bench a lot earlier for sure.
No question. Shout out my guy Hoodies Vintage. Hoodies Vintage sends a super chat. Season ticket holder. He says, good gritty win. Still hopeful Tibbs goes to the bench earlier to avoid having to constantly come back. Hopefully RJ snaps out of it. His funk and Kemba can be consistent offensively. We need the identity. So shout out my guy Hoodies Vintage for the timely super chat. Didn't even know that one was coming in, but he sent it in. So shout out to Hoodies Vintage. Let me see what other super chats have come in since we've been going. We got 1,700 on the check-in. Let's get those likes up. Hit that thumbs up button for your squad. Waiting to see who that 614 number is. Edgar, who's that 614 number? Let me know. In the meantime, let me go to Lamar. Let's go to Austin, Texas. New caller, Lamar from Austin, Texas. What's going on?
Yo, what's up? CP, what's good, man?
Yo.
I've called before.
Hang on. Are you on speakerphone, bro?
Oh, yeah, I was. My fault. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, thank you very much. Edgar, no
right,
speakerphone, bro. No speakerphone.
40.
All right, my bad.
Yeah.
Yo, my bad, CP, my bad. Just want to say hello to the crew and everybody, but I just wanted to call in because my birthday's tomorrow, and I felt like,
Happy
the Knicks won
birthday.
tonight, so it was like a birthday. Hey, appreciate it. It was like an early B-Day gift, and want to let y'all know I'm going to be out there December 7th when the Knicks play the Spurs. So I'll be out there. I already bought my tickets last night. So, I'll be repping out there in San Antonio. You know that. So I'll be at that game.
Let's do it, man. Happy birthday
yeah,
to you
man.
too, babe.
So man, appreciate it. So I didn't want to say much, man. Just wanted to say that real quick. You guys do a great job, man. Everybody does good. But, hey, I'm probably the only cat out here in Austin, Texas, representing the Knicks, though. But New York is home, though. So always repping my Knicks, no matter where I'm at.
KnicksFanTV is your home, man. So continue to hold us down out there, and thanks for supporting us, bro. Definitely appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. Yo, no problem. And I'll be at that game December 7th, Knicks and Spurs. I'll be there.
Let's go. Lamar from Austin, Texas.
No doubt, man.
Big up, Lamar.
Lamar, see what you can do about getting us DeJounte Murray, bro.
Happy belated birthday, Nelson. I see you in the chat. Happy belated
Nelson's
birthday.
one day. Nelson, happy birthday, man. Definitely happy birthday to you. Ash, you got a flex, right?
I do. I want to say go Knicks.
Yeah.
Good win. Let's keep that trajectory. Let's win all 3 home games. Defend home court. I have an interview I got to prep for in the morning, but I wanted to come rock with you guys after a win. And like I said, defend home court because the season's only going to get harder. The home games are supposed to be the easiest. You got to protect MSG. That's our territory. We can't let anybody come in and run us out of it. So
absolutely, Ash. Appreciate that. And
bye, guys.
Good luck on the interview. All right, salute to everybody in the chat once again.
Bye.
We'll be rocking with you guys for a little bit. We'll take some couple more calls before we wrap up, man. Knicks Post Game Live, presented by Manscaped, CP the Franchise, Alex Ratar's Stratocast, CK2K, presented by Manscaped. As I said, go to manscaped.com, enter promo code KFTV for 20% off plus free shipping. And as you guys know, in addition to manscaped.com, this show is also sponsored by Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports fellas made easy. Now Prize Picks offers props. It's a prop game, so we're going over. When we play Prize Picks, we're basically predicting over or under on a certain statistic for players. It's that easy, right? So you can play football, you can play NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball when it's in season. You can play soccer when it's in season. And all you're doing is you're picking individual players. You're picking their stats. For example, in basketball, you can pick between points, rebounds, assists, three-point shots, and free throws made for key players. They have stars. You have bench players. And you can pick between 2 and 5 prop style stats. And that's it. So basically, That's the name of the game. And shout out to Prize Picks once again. They offer more NBA props than any other daily fantasy sports prop operator that you could think of. And if you go to prizepicks.com, either download the app or go to prizepicks.com and enter promo code KFTV, they're going to match your deposit 100% up to $100. So let's say you sign up and you say, okay, I'm only going to put in $20. They're going to match you $20. So you're going to have $40 to play with. Let's say you go in there and you want to play with $50. They're going to match you $50 and you'll have $100 to play with. You put in $100, you'll have $200 to play with. Now, on the season, I'm about 1 in maybe 5 on my Prize Picks games, but it's a lot of fun. Let me tell you something. It's a lot of fun. I like playing these prop games because I know I'm getting close. I'm getting close, man. And tonight was one of those nights where it was a heartbreaker for CP the franchise because first and foremost, here's where I went. I went Miles Turner over 1.5 3 points made. We all know in the last matchup against the Knicks, he hit about, 7? He crushed him from beyond the arc. I figured our three-point defense would tighten up a little bit, but I still figured that he would make at least 2. And he hit one in the third quarter, and in the fourth quarter, fellas, his three-corner three literally went in and out. I could have hit that, and I just missed. So sometimes those things can bite you. I went with Lonzo Ball over 4.5 dimes tonight against the Lake Show. That game is on right now. I got to check the stats. I haven't checked.
He's at 4 right now. I picked the same thing.
How much time left, CK?
Just went to halftime. So we're good.
Went to halftime. So we got to figure we got a good chance at this one. Lonzo 4.5, so he's got to get 5 dimes for me to hit on that one. Lakers, one of the worst teams defending point guards. I just felt like Lonzo has some chemistry, has some momentum going with that Chicago Bulls team, so I picked Lonzo over 4.5 dimes. The next pick I made was Ja Morant over 23.5 points home against the Houston Rockets. And to tell you how tough this thing is, he finishes with 22 points. He had 22 points by the end of the third quarter. The only problem was the Grizzlies blew out the Rockets by like 40 points, and he didn't play. All I needed was one more bucket for Ja Morant to hit the over on 23.5 points. I needed one more bucket, and I just missed it. But nevertheless, I'm still alive here because I did go with AD, Anthony Davis, over 25.5 points home against the Chicago Bulls. Bulls coming on the second of a back-to-back against the Clippers with no big man, no Vucevic, no big man help. I figured this should be a night where Anthony Davis eats, and we'll see what happens there. And then I went with Jimmy Garoppolo tonight, man. I thought he was going to get into a shootout with the Rams. I went over 240 passing yards. I think he finished with close to 200, so I didn't get that one there. But I'm coming close, people. I am coming close on the Prize Picks, man. But maybe you guys will hit, man. Make sure you guys support our sponsors. Go to prizepicks.com, enter promo code KFTV for a 100% match on your deposit of up to $100. All right, let's get to the phones, and then I'll get my guys back in here. We'll take a couple more calls, and then we'll wrap. Let's go to Dylan from Melbourne, Australia. Dylan, what's going on? Dylan.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear, man. How you doing, bro?
Perfect. What's going on, guys? Shout out to the panel. Shout out to everyone. My username on YouTube is South Gooner usually, so commenting in with that one.
Yeah.
But so great win today. Really, really good. I'm actually calling in regards to one. I think it was like 3-4 calls ago, talking about the center position, and I'm with him. Like, I think we're a solid set. Even last year I was saying this, but we're a solid center position away from being a solid contender in most other team supporters' eyes. We haven't really had that position covered for the last 18 months or so. It's always been, whether or not someone's going to. And another thing was in reference to, Mitch Robinson and how we can best raise his value. what happens is every time that he comes back from injury or something, he's being rushed straight into the thick of things because we just don't have that rotation, or we haven't had that rotation. We've got people like, Taj Gibson, who can rely on for maybe, 10 to 15 minutes a game or something, but we can't rely on somebody like that for, 25, 35 minutes a game, 82 games a season. But I just wanted to know what your thoughts were in regards to that center position, because against Charlotte, for example, there was a lot of talk about our perimeter defense being bad. But what I actually saw was, quite often when the defense collapsed, was Mitch wasn't actually like there was a couple of times where he just wasn't closing down quick enough. I don't know if we need to go small ball for that lineup or what, but yeah, I just want to know what your guys' thoughts were on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting, right? Because if you look at it statistically right now, I think we're like third in the league in terms of paint protection. I think we're about third in the league.
Yep.
We're still tops in the league in terms of opponents' field goal percentage. The biggest problem is our 3-point defense. So, I did see some people hit me on Twitter today saying, well, why not go with Obi and see if you can get out there faster to defend the 3-point line, which, is a fair take. Tonight, I thought with Mitch in there, I didn't think they did too bad though. So I'm just not sure, man. I'm not sure where we go with the center position. I think where we need to go is just be healthy first and foremost. Just be healthy, man. Yeah,
definitely. Because I'm definitely with you in that we can't rely on somebody like if we say that Obi Toppin is our starting center, other coaches will be laughing at us. They can get ready for that so easily. But if we chuck him in here and there, he could be really effective. Like obviously not every game, but yeah, it was just something I was thinking about earlier today. But yeah, thanks for taking my call. Really appreciate it. And hopefully you'll get to call in a few more times.
South Goon and Dylan checking in, man. Appreciate the call, man. Appreciate it. But you know what, fellas? Hey, at least we're seeing it. You know what I'm saying? At least we're seeing it much more often. Even though when they did go to, Obi in this late stretch, Pacers went right at him. It is what it is. I thought Randall did his best to try to cover for him. But I thought Tibbs saw a point where we needed offense. We had no Mitch. And instead of going Sims, you went Obi. And I still thought it was the right move.
Yeah, absolutely. It was the right move. I mean, I'd rather see, because we already discussed it, right? Sims is a little too raw. You don't want to put him in this position where we need to get a win. And when you have, I think just putting Obi and Randall out there together, instead of, having that defensive front that you necessarily want, you're then saying, hey, let's try to get some offense and run these guys off the court. But as CK pointed out, I think it was at wrong timing. And I don't necessarily think this is the right team to do it against when you have Miles Turner, who's an athletic big and who can run with those guys. So it was still a good move by Tibbs. It obviously didn't work too well because Turner was out there. He's a true center who's mobile, who can keep up with Randall and Obi. But I think in the future, when you get into these positions, like a good chance for them to have done it was against the Philadelphia 76ers, where they didn't have Embiid. Drummond was out for a bit. And that's where he could have gone small ball, and Tibbs didn't go small ball. But I felt like that was a time where he could have used just some offense, put Randall out there. Randall's played the center before. He did that out in LA, and when he was down in New Orleans for a bit, he knows how to play the 5. Wouldn't necessarily have Obi at the 5, but Randall can do short stints there. But that was like another area where he could have done it. I wish he did do it. But I think moving forward, you have to. And sadly, we only get this because Tibbs put in a position where he has to. He wouldn't necessarily do it. Yeah. But I think you should, just to see where you can get some offense.
True indeed.
Yeah, I have noted that because the last part Alex just said is I feel like he was almost forced into doing that, and I think that's what led to him trying it out when he tried it out with putting Obi Toppin then, because he had already had Taj Gibson playing some minutes, so he needed something to relieve Taj Gibson so he can close out the game as he did. But like you said, at the very least, we know he's willing to try it, because he could have gone with this guy, Jericho Sims, because Tibbs has not been afraid to throw Jericho Sims in there. He played the first game. He was the first dude and rookie off the bench in the first game. So I know he's not afraid to throw him in there, but to give that unit of Julius Randle and Obi Toppin to try again, that's good for us. That gives us hope that, when the situation comes, because a lot of these Eastern Conference teams, we're going to have an opportunity to see them run together. I just feel like in that instance, it wasn't it. And I completely agree. The Philadelphia game was the game where we should have seen it, but we didn't get to see it. But we'll see what comes next. We got our game on Wednesday. Maybe that'll be the time where we start to see it shine, and maybe it becomes a permanent fixture.
True indeed. All right, we got 8 minutes left on the switchboard. I want to hear from Dell, Angel, and close with Jay Boogie. Keep it one key take, and we got to keep it pushing, man. Dell from BK. Dell, what's going on? One hot take, rapid fire. What's going on?
It's actually Doug from Brooklyn. You guys are the best, man.
Doug.
I love KnicksFanTV.
Thank you,
Smash
bro.
that thumbs up button. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, I just wanted to say when Randall stayed on, Obi got taken out for Taj at the end of the game. I was a little tight. I'm always on Obi watch. I want him to get more minutes. He's like my son when I watch him out there. I want him to succeed.
Yeah.
But then Julius stepped up, man. Julius did all these different things other than scoring and dribbling the air out of the basketball.
Yeah.
And I was so impressed, especially when he found IQ in the corner, like you referred to earlier, CP. That was a fantastic pass. He's
That was a
getting
great
good
play.
defensive rebounds, closing possessions. So I was just saying, man, this guy's a versatile basketball player when he's not trying to only do one thing out there. So I was very, very pleased with that. And also, I just want to throw it out there. Can you name, 5, 6, 7 point guards you'd rather have right now than Derrick Rose?
Sure.
There's not that many.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
appreciate
a good point,
you guys.
Man. Appreciate it. Yeah, man. Julius has to, he has to understand that he's our guy, whether he's making the shots or not. So he has to be able to impact the game, make winning plays for us. That's what he did last year. His playmaking was so on point. I thought his defense was commendable. It wasn't shut down necessarily, but his defense was much more in tune. His defensive awareness was there. And, those are the type of things that he's going to have to do to help us win these games. All right, Angel from Philly. Angel up next. Angel, what's going on?
Yo, what's good, CP,
What's
Alex,
good,
Vanilla CP,
What's good?
my guy CK2K, what's up, yo, how y'all doing?
Good, man. What's going on? Yep.
Uh-oh.
Oh, man. Angel. Shot clock is ticking, man. What happened, bro?
No.
All right. Oof. Damn, bro. Angel, man. Shot clock is ticking, man. I don't know what happened. Gonna have to drop him off. Jay Boogie, close us out. Jay Boogie, what's going on? Yep.
Salute. 3 capital S's. Nah, the shot clock ain't ticking. I needed the extra time. I'm getting ready to go all the way off. I'm just playing, man. Man, I don't know. I hope everything is all right without God, man. But shout out to the team. Shout out to the squad. Shout out to the GM.
Oh, no. Oh, Edgar, hold up.
In the building.
Yeah.
I be seeing you through the chats, man. I love you, my brother, you know what I'm saying? And shout out to the young Tony Yayo, you know what I'm saying? The fly guy, Cali Bond himself, you know what I'm saying? Well, me and you beefing, man. I need to holler at you. You ain't got at me yet, man. And, Wonder Woman herself, she got a great interview on, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So she don't left up out of here looking like the young Jada Pinkett. She get ready to go set it off. And shout out to my man, E.G. Those who don't know who E.G. is, get familiar with it because I'm going to start promoting E.G., you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Right now, he's, on his applications right now. I just finished talking to him. Good guy. Welcome aboard, my brother, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't got too much a lot to say, you know what I'm saying? I hear y'all talking about big mans, you know what I'm saying? Just throw this out there for everybody to remember this. Noel is getting paid more money than McGee and Drummond put together, point blank. I just wanted to throw that out there for a little, little wordplay, you know what I'm saying? But it don't make no difference how big you is, how small you is. I don't care. I want to play hardball, you know what I'm saying? I need that heart, you know what I'm saying? That's how we win games. That's how we won tonight. We back on having heart, you know what I'm saying? And we needed that tonight, you know what I'm saying? That's how we won games last year, playing with heart. It's not about the most talent and all that. It's about who got the most heart. Jim Jones said it best. Hard work beats talent when talent don't work hard. And when you don't got that much talent, you got to play extra hard and do the little things that the talent players don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? You won't see KD really taking too many charges. So you got to take charges, Julius Randle. It's a difference. But I like that little hard effort you did diving into the bleachers. I need all that every time, everything on the court when your jumper ain't falling. And I might have to go back to last year and start re-promoting my man and start talking about them keys again. Yeah, them keys again. I'm going to start talking about them keys again because what he's doing right now is making a lot of noise on that court, you know what I'm saying? And he brings that energy level all the way up. That's what we don't have in our first starting line. Nobody got no energy all the way up. We need that. And nobody cutting on our team like Obi cutting. So those two things that we got on the bench with Quickly and Obi, we know they're going to do what they do. Keep doing what we're doing. First game of the 3-game home stretch, we get ready to handle our business, you know what I'm saying? Get back aboard, get back to winning, get back, you know what I'm saying, being that team, you know what I'm saying, that some of these people want to throw under the bus, you know what I'm saying? When we start winning, no, don't try to unthrow them up under the bus. Throw yourself under the bus. God bless you, man. Everybody stay healthy and safe.
J Boogie, the closer, closing the show with straight bars. Throw some fives in the chat, man. That was a classic J Boogie sermon. Throw some fives in the chat to salute J Boogie, man. Oh, and close out the phones. Salute to J Boogie, man. Excellent show to get us back on track. The J Boogie sermon to get us back on track. Knicks get a dope win to get us back on track. And that's just what it is, man. Great job, great show. Once again, great job by the bench, man. IQ. What a way to be the energy, man. The energy that's been missing sometimes with this team. Great job, man. Absolutely great job. D Rose once again electric. And we get this dub, man. So CK Al, great show. Let me just cue up the J Boogie tunes right now. Great show as usual, my guys. Any closing words before we get up out of here?
I'm gonna keep mine quick. Keep it going. We gotta win this homestand. Show them that we be talking about protect the garden and all that nonsense. Then do it. That's all I'm gonna say. Keep it going. This is the start of a win streak, in my opinion. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'll say Knicks. If you keep for the Knicks team, they keep talking about how they gotta come out with energy.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I just want to keep seeing that happen. That's it. And the other thing I want to say is salute to the mods, salute to Knicks Nation, and salute to KnicksFanTV Dave. I heard that. I heard your closing speech, bro. Salute to you.
Yeah.
We got to work on the website together, bro.
Yeah.
Miss you, man. Miss you.
Sir.
Good luck. Good luck to your next adventures, man.
Yeah.
Great. Absolutely, man. Great job, Dave. Great job, all the mods and the super chats. These people don't skip a beat, man. They're on top of things, man. That's why I appreciate everybody out there in Knicks Nation, man. You guys are an extension of the show. You know what I mean? You guys are the producers of the show. So if we forget something or a little mishap, you guys got to let us know, man, and keep us on task. So I appreciate that. We're gonna get to the super chat shortly. Shout out my guy J Cal, jumped into the chat. Jason Cal Canis, appreciate you, J Cal. King Deej, man. King Curve, his new nickname. Not afraid of the smoke. King Deej been going toe to toe with Ash. You know what I'm saying? My guy David Footernick, West Coast Knicks. Ayo pal, West Coast Knicks. What's going on? Yeah, man. Salute Malik Rivera. Shout out to Rhyme Animal. Chuck D sends a super chat. He says orange and blue collar work. Hardball, as J Boog sermon does. No shortcuts. Hardball. Every game is a playoff fight. Every home game must be fought. Shout out to Chuck D, man. Always appreciate you. All right, let's see what else. What else, fellas? What else? Oh, the city jerseys. Did anybody get the new city jerseys that dropped today, man? TK Al, did you guys get on it?
I did.
Which one did you get, sir?
I was going like everyone I saw in the chat. I wanted to get Rose, but I ended up getting RJ because Rose were sold out. Ooh. But I'm gonna get Rose on the classic joints. So I know when I get out to the garden, I want to get Rose on the classic white joints. So it's all good.
Al,
yeah, I got RJ Barrett.
Al, did you get in?
I did get in. I was able to get at 10 o'clock, we got the D Rose City Edition. So I'm one of the lucky people who got
Rose Hive.
Yeah,
y'all see
y'all. Rose Hive, stand up, man. Let me tell you something. 10 o'clock on the dot. I went in there and I said, you know what? I already got a crispy home white RJ joint. I got a RJ classic. I just got the classic RJ joint. And then 10 o'clock on the dot, man. I went Rose Hive. Rose Hive, stand up. Let's go. They've been bullying us. They've been peer pressuring us all season to season.
Nah, I want one. So I'm gonna get on the classic joint.
I say, you know what? I'm with the Rose Hive, man. So I copped the Rose Hive. But fear not, people. Yes, it did sell out. But you know, CP always has an ace in the hole. I always got tricks up my sleeve. So stay tuned. I might have something for the Rose Hive. I might have a little something for the Rose Hive. So stay tuned on that. And then I just went down a rabbit hole of like a shopping spree. I ended up just buying, man. I got the jacket. I got a couple snaps. Yeah, it was all bad, fellas. It was all bad.
You got the jacket?
I got the jacket, bro. Yeah. The jacket was hard. I wasn't really feeling the 75th anniversary patch on there. It's a little too gaudy, but you know what I mean? I took the bait, bro. I went down a sick rabbit hole and was just shopping for like a half hour. So, shout out to him.
That was the one thing. It was the patch, man. If that 75 patch was a little bit smaller, would have gone all in.
Yeah. It was a little too big. All they had to do was just put it on the sleeve. Just put a little joint.
Exactly. That's all they had to do.
They ruined it, man. But either way, I'll be rocking it to a game.
Facts, right?
I'll be rocking it to a game. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Josh. Sends a super chat. Super chat says, quick 1-2-3 inning from J Boogie to close the game. 007 Angelo says, what is it with the Knicks and French players? Frederick Weiss, Manscaping, Vince Carter. If you know, you know. Shout out to our sponsors at Manscaped. He says, Frank and now Fournier. Yo, I heard Frank got into a scrape. What happened, bro? Did anybody see the video of Frank scrapping out there? I heard Frank. I did not see it. But I heard Frank and who'd he get into it with?
Oh Lord, the Nuggets. Oh, Jermichael Green.
Frank and Jermichael Green had smoke.
You won't believe it, chat, but Frank was going to the hoop aggressively and Jermichael Green fouled him.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
Crazy sentence, right?
It's not that entire sentence doesn't sound like it should exist. Jermichael Green and Frank Ntilikina going at it.
Yeah.
And then the names that went after that had his back was Dorian Finney-Smith and Reggie Bullock. So you know, it's just a wild time right now. It's a wild time.
No KP?
Now KP was in the far back.
You know, KP can't fight, man. He's already down bad. He took too many losses. He's got to chill. They need him healthy. KP can't get into any more static, man, because he comes out on the losing end of all of them. So, but Frank, you know, remember when Frank and LeBron caught some static? You know, everybody think the Frank Prince is soft. Don't sleep on the Prince, man. And now he's starting to play well with Dallas, so shout out to him, man. Shout out to him.
Rotational player, yes,
Frank Hive, if he's still out there, don't be ashamed, man. You can still throw the hashtag out there. I see Jack City just threw it out there, so he's not ashamed. Shout out to Jack City, man. Frank Hive is alive and well. Yeah, Frank caught some static, man. Kenny Gale says, I'll be at the game Saturday in my Obi jersey. Okay. I'll be at the game Saturday, too. I'll be at the game Wednesday and Saturday. So if you guys are at MSG, man, just pull up on your boy. I'll be in there. King Matthews says, W, come back and let's get ready for the next one. David Claudio, super chat, says, Knicks can go over the cap to pay Mitch without luxury tax. J Cal, salute to J Cal, $50 super chat. He says, starters 125 minutes, second unit 115 minutes, second to none, getting it done. Dave Noddy, super chat, says, peace. Shout to New Crew, shout to New York, shout to Discord. Taj did the damn thing tonight. Love the heart. Yo, Alex T, what hat is that, fam? Yeah, Al, what is that?
Right, man.
What hat is that, bro?
This is the Tough Crowd, Brandon Jennings company. Got the limited New York Knicks. It says the Mecca right here.
Fire.
With the X.
Yeah, that's fire, bro. I like that.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. That's
shout out to my sis for getting it for me.
Yeah, man. Shout out to your sis, man. That's a fire lit. That definitely a fire lit.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kareem Grant says, Super CP Bros, King CK2K, and my little sis, Ash. Much love to you, Ash, and thank you for this Knicks platform. JD sends a super chat, says, CP, I need you to tell the world. I assume you were the first Burks NYC edition purchase, correct? No way you would go elsewhere. No, I did not cop the Burks City edition. I don't know if he's gonna be here with us in February. I wanted something with a little more staying power. And like I said, man, the Rose Hive, they've been on our head for months. Pause. But I mean, the Rose Hive has just been, aggravating. So, I caved to the pressure, and I copped the Rose jersey.
That was a good cop.
Yeah, this was a good scoop. Good scoop. David Claudio says, can we please get Obi the ball in the post and the IQ Obi pick and roll? Yeah, for sure. I'm with that. Trishan Clemens says, once Kemba got the tech, the Knicks' energy changed. People need to relax. It's a long season. And I think I got everything else, man. So great show, everybody, once again. We'll see you guys Wednesday night, man. Knicks versus Magic. And if you guys are at MSG, man, pull up on your boy, man. CK Alex, great show, fellas.
I told you.
Fun show. Okay, appreciate it.
I'm about to put on a suit and tie.
Mitchell Robinson wins the tip.
LeVert, a lot of shaky bake in his game. Nice movement here by the pace. Knicks seem to be up for the task.
LeVert's step back two-pointer is good. Knicks would like to see the start. Chance for a three-point play. Fournier to Gibson. Gibson out to Barrett. Barrett for three. It's good. R.J. Barrett, his first points of the night. Only the fifth three-pointer by the Knicks.
Knicks defense pressing now.
Brogdon gets pass inside. Boy, he is tough, Clyde. Fake, drive. Whoa, I think that was a shot out to Gibson. Barrett tries another three. Back-to-back threes for R.J. Barrett.
Oh, McConnell had a chance of shooting. Waited late.
And Sabonis right there to tip it in.
See Randall not getting any. He's swarmed by Pacers.
5 on the shot clock. Rose. Jump shot. It's good. 10 points for Rose off the bench. Back to 6. McConnell. Keelan Martin drives and nobody steps in front.
But as you mentioned, Mike, still kind of reluctant to shoot the ball.
Alec Burks, no hesitation there. Just the 7th three-pointer. DJ McConnell sets, misses, rebound Rose off to the races. Rose kicks it out to Quickly. Quickly throws it up, shot's good. Beautiful floater from Quickly. Rose calls something out. Julius Randle back in the game. Quickly fires away, puts it in. Emmanuel Quickly from downtown, and the game is tied. And Julius Randle and Obi Toppin playing together. Holiday, contested shot is good. Justin Holiday with a tough shot. Toppin wanted a lob, but LeVert did a good job getting back on D. Burks pulls up three-pointer. It's good! Alec Burks ties the game. Brogdon drives on Toppin. Oh, Brogdon once again using his strength getting to the rim. He's got 20. Had a look, pass up, now drives, gets inside.
We represent to the fullest, this that orange and blue. You a Knick for life. They wanna hate what they love in the franchise. With Spike said it's the orange with the blue skies. It's no city more famous with the nightlife. We celebrate feeling good, it's the Knicks, right? They wanna hate what they love in the franchise. With Spike said it's the orange with the blue skies. It's no city more famous with the nightlife. We celebrate feeling good, it's the Knicks, right?